There is a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me and you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See when new eyes allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom in love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love and welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here, and you are welcome here. And breathe in and out. Slowly feel all that's around you, and all that you feel, and all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. And be who you are and let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, 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 when we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You are welcome here. Love is welcome here. And peace is welcome here. And you are welcome here.
Lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we will call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of the mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And the last candle, the healing candle, please put silently into the light the name of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love.
Good morning. I am Al Shellman, a licensed practitioner here at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. Please join me in our collective affirmation for morning service. How I choose to think creates my personal experience. Therefore, I choose to think affirmatively. I choose to speak affirmatively. I choose to live affirmatively. Not only is this my right, it is my responsibility as a conscious being. I allow myself to be guided, used, and available for the reawakening of everyone's magnificence. The moment is now, and I say yes, yes, yes. And together we say, and so it is.
Introduction to our morning services, our Sunday experience. Good morning. I'm Penelope Williams, your creative arts director. It's a delight to be with you this morning. I hope you're having an amazing Sunday already. It's been an amazing week here in Atlanta. Beautiful weather, rightly conducive to hiking, and with my dog who's just celebrating 2 years. So there you go. Little Daisy is right next to me celebrating her second birthday. Good morning and welcome. You belong. I love this book. I have this book right at my desk here, and I use it every Sunday as we begin our services each Sunday. So I invite you. We still have these available for you in our supply room at the office. If you need an Our Belong workbook to take you through Sunday experience, know that we have these available for you. They're not too hard to access, and you can have your very own copy. Also, want to let you know we have our beloved Reverend Dr. David Alexander and his beautiful wife, Patience Mwanza, on the cover of this month's Science of Mind magazine. So we are out and proud. Get your very own copy at Borders Books or come by our offices. We are available if you're in the Atlanta area. We have our office hours on Mondays and Tuesdays. And so you can come on by and pick up your copy of Science of Mind magazine. And it's a beautiful article in there by our beloved Reverend Dr. David Alexander. And are you ready to volunteer? We're going to be coming into services. Our target date is July 4th. And I want to encourage you, if you in preparation of our in-service services, in-person services, we're looking for volunteers, and we are so grateful for the 2019 and early 2020 volunteers, and those, of course, before. For our Sunday experience, we're looking for current volunteers to take us into mid 21. So that includes our production team and our greeters and our ushers, and also our area of education. So we want you to feel free to come. And if you have any questions, you can call our offices or you can contact us at info, that's info at slc-atlanta.org. And that's the way to reach us and offer your services. Perhaps you have some ideas you'd like to share with us, and we'd be happy to hear them. And also know you can volunteer because we're going to need your help, okay, when we come into in-person services. And we're so excited. We're so excited. Our place looks great, and we're loving the experience already. I want to share some announcements with you. We, of course, have ways to give in which you can continue to give financially. So that is our grateful giving. You can text or go onto our website anytime, day or night. It's a very secure environment for you to share your financial contributions with us. On Tuesdays, we have each Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock Eastern Time a beautiful service provided by Reverend Ursula Lentine. and she has shared this for many years. Twin Hearts meditation, very specific style of meditation coming from Reverend Ursula and her community of meditators each Tuesday evening. We invite you to join. Just let go, unplug, and be with Reverend Ursula each Tuesday. Coming up this Wednesday evening is a class that we have ongoing, Living the Science of Mind. And I know you do that every day. But here is a way to reinforce community and reinforce connection. This specific class coming up just this Wednesday, class, it's not really a class, but it's a gathering of community members with Reverend Greta, religious science practitioner. She's not a reverend. I think of her as a reverend because she's so beloved to me. Greta Counts will be sharing the wisdom of our Declaration of Principles, which is so vital to know what we believe and why we believe it. She is certainly one to share that. That's this Wednesday at 7, and that is a Zoom call, so you can go ahead and find out more information about that through our scrolling here, or you can call our offices and we'll share more with you. Each Sunday, we have members that come together for adult study, studying this lovely book here is a daily read, Science of Mind. Very skilled practitioners are in service for this community each Sunday at 9, and that is ongoing every Sunday. And they'll be, of course, in person as we come back together. But right now, it's available via Zoom. So we invite you to join us each Sunday at 9 for that adult study. This week is coming up. We have not only Cinco de Mayo, which is midweek, because I know we're looking forward to that celebration, but we also have on Sunday, May 9th, is Mother's Day. And we thought, what a better way to be together in this nurturing aspect of ourselves of giving. And we want to invite you to join with us in person if you can. Drop by between 1 and 3, and we'll be encouraging you to share canned goods with a pop top, and there's an urgent need for canned stew, soup, and pasta. I'm reading some notes here. So non-perishable items, including peanut butter, cheese, or crackers. So it's not only a food drive, but we also want you to know that some hard goods are also needed, including diapers size 4, 5, and 6. And this is also an urgent need because the children come with their families and they simply run out of these items and they are in need. We're sharing this to the community of Toco Hills Community Alliance. And this is next Sunday from 1 to 3. Come on by. I'm telling you, come on by, get your magazine, get your book, get your get your holy uprising. Come by and be with us. I miss seeing you. I want you to come and join us May 9th, Mother's Day. We'll rub elbows or something. We'll say hello to one another. So come by 1 to 3 at the Spiritual Living Center, 3107 Claremont Road. If you forgot how to get there, we'd love to see you. And our practitioners are in the chat this morning, available for prayer after the service. You can identify directly with them if you need prayer or you want to share a celebration, just to be in conversation with our practitioners. We want to hear from you, and they'll be available for a private consultation with you after service this morning. Our beloved Jamel Morris is here to share a creative arts moment, and I want you to know that Jamel is such a creative, process-oriented guy. He really is. He's a member of our community. We also know him as the Melodic Barber, Mellodic, Melodic. Very creative guy. He's a fantastic barber. He also has each Wednesday his very own Wellness Wednesday Facebook Live at 7:30. What's Your Mindset was the last month for April, and he has really reinforced among his community of friends and fans. I will tell you that community of friends and fans, the wisdom of Science of Mind from his perspective. And we have him here with us this morning. He's going to be sharing a poem called Making the Time, and an original poem. Please welcome our beloved community member, Jamel Morris.
Thank you, Penelope, for that amazing intro. And welcome, everyone. Great day, Spiritual Living Center community of Atlanta. I'm glad to be before you all. So before I get started with my poem, I would like to share a quick affirmative prayer that I had as well. All right, thank you. And it goes as such. This is what I know. I am one with spirit. I flow in spirit and truth, like the breath, surrounding or filling all that is, engaging in perfect vibration, surrendering to thy higher self. This day, we are led by spirit alone, fully aware, awake to the love, peace, strength, and courage, joy that's always there. I choose to respond in faith and relinquish fears. Let love lead, and so shall your passion pull you into your wealthy place and healthy space, expanding mind, body, and soul. This day, we are one with our goals. Speak the end and the beginning. Now, watch our words, my words unfold as I make the time for our true desires. I speak to inspire, align with the prize, purpose, and so it is. I give thanks knowing it is done. All right. Thank you all. And here is making the time. One moment to queue up. Making the time to clear my mind and heart, to make thoughts of love that pierce like darts through the hearts and souls of those that let them get cold, hard, and rigid. I must feed my soul the love that comes with it. I am that. I am mighty and such, still a sweet savior, good to the last touch or taste. I am good just as well as God, for my love and respect are infinite. I am meant for this with power to overcome this with numbness and wholeness. Be complete, but yet a piece of the all that's always prevailing, sailing on the seas of life. My journey, where sometimes things get dirty, still clean, because what's in me sins which pass me, sin with and in truth. So you can't con me, move me, or abuse me, for you hurt yourself first as you try to get me. But my love and peace conquer all of that. Make my enemies peace, in fact, knowing love conquers all. I could really never fall, maybe trip or take a quick dip as I rise like the sun, moon, and skies. Peace and love continue to lead me when we don't know why. Thank you.
Well, there. Gracious good morning to you. I'm Susan Zoller. I'm a member of the ministerial team here. Of course, every minister is a prayer practitioner first and foremost. And I'd like to share with you this morning what's in my heart. And it is done in the tradition of Jesus the Christ, who prayed in faith, knowing it was already done. I'll say this in the first person, and I invite you to take it in the first person also. You can close your eyes if you like. I will do so simply to let the outer world pass away for a few minutes and go into that inner space. So join with me now, please. I refuse to forget. I refuse to forget the truth of my being, the truth of my world, the truth of this universe. I know that all there is God, that which created all, that which is in all, that which animates everything, even that which we sometimes do not view as alive. That was created by the almighty intelligence of this universe. And what I know is that this universe is vitally alive, that my words, as part of that which I am, which is part of spirit, knows and knows that it knows that I have the ability to direct my life and the events in it. I don't control them, but I do direct them. And so today, no matter what is going on in this world and what people say to me and what events are happening, I remember, I know how I am alive and what my business is in this world. I am about the business of my Creator. I am going around bringing more love, more joy, more energy to life. I am a light in this world. I let my light shine. I know that I can experience the joy of life, the prosperity of life. And I call that in now. I call in health. I call in vitality. I am ever so grateful for the center that teaches this. Our center, our ministers, our senior minister, Reverend Dr. David Alexander, for all those who put this service together and those who guide us financially, our board. Because each of us has the same ability to access the divine. And so right now, I refuse to forget. I refuse to buy in to the world who says things are awful or bad or we're going downhill. I know that we have the ability within us because of our connection to the divine, because that part of us that is always in the divine has the creative ability to bring about solutions, to bring about new ways of doing things, to uplift and inspire those, to support those who are down, who are ill, or experiencing less than the joy of life. We are here knowing the best, and the best is yet to come. It is true because we are always creating, and I direct my mind to think higher and greater ways all the time. I know this is the truth. I know there is nothing in my consciousness to be in opposition to this because I will not let it be so because I know who I am and I refuse to forget. Knowing this is the truth, knowing it is already so, I simply say namaste, aloha, blessed be, amen, ashe. And if you choose to join me, and so it is.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. Through me. Thank you, Reverend Susan and Jamel Morris, for that beautiful creative moment. This morning, our guest is a member. Our guest, religious science practitioner, is also a minister on our staff here. And we want to welcome Reverend Ursula. Not only she's really not told her story, really. She just shows up to serve, right? And so we thought this message is perfect for Reverend Ursula. So we invited her to share her wisdom with us this morning. She's facilitated over 4,500 individual healing sessions and worked with thousands of individuals in groups. And besides being a staff minister at SLCA, she's a level 3 practitioner of internal family systems. She's also a certified associate pranic healer and a pranic healing teacher. She has facilitated a weekly group meditation since 2009, and we welcome her this morning as she shares her wisdom on the adventure called life. Please welcome Reverend Ursula Lentine.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. It's fun to share. I think life is meant to be shared. One of our purposes for living this life is to share it. And who better to share it with but people who we love, who think the same way, who feel the same way, who also love celebrating. My personal motto is to learn so I can grow, so I can share, so we can enjoy. This adventure called life makes me understand that two ways of being. One is the roller coaster. Yes, we all know what that is. That's an adventure. And the other one is rowing down a river in a kayak. Nice and simple, easy breezy, just rowing, gliding through, no drama, everything's nice. You put in, the river takes you, and you come out. Someone drives you back to your car. Easy. We all want the easy one, but that's not how life rolls. If you've noticed in your own life, you may be on roller coasters from time to time, and that's normal, that's life. If we just stayed on the kayak, it's not okay. There's no growth, there's no challenge. We grow when we are challenged. So life, we may say, is challenging, but really it's an adventure, because every adventure has a difficulty and a win, a reward. So when you think of, what is my next adventure? It's moving into the unknown. We want to control everything, and that's our ego, and that's fear-based. But when we're on this river and we're just going along and going along, there's no stimuli, everything's under control, and it's easy, and it's peaceful, and it's nice, and it's predictable. Life itself is not predictable. I'm going to give you some examples of my life and how sometimes it's a roller coaster and sometimes it's a kayaking trip. When I was a child, I was raised in Detroit. My father was 11 when his father died, and that affected his life. That was a roller coaster that affected his life considerably. So he didn't really have a father, so he overfathered me. See, my life starts before my birthday because I'm a product of my inheritance. We all are. Culturally, just within the family and within the DNA. My mother was born and raised in Germany. She was a child during World War II. Her father was missing for several years in war, not missing, but unknown to them. She had to stand in line for food. Bombs were going off. They had to move 4 times. This was happening. So when I was born into this lineage. My father's from Sicily. All the things that have happened there are lineage. You see, so we're never really just plain kayak trip. We come from roller coaster after roller coaster, historically. So think of the roller coasters that you inherited and that you live from, because we continue to do that. So between my mother's German and my dad's overfathering, I had a lot of suppressed, so suppressed. And I'm an outspoken person. I speak my mind, I see the truth, and I have 3 or 4 different levels of consciousness that I'm always on. And I thought everybody else was. My father said, "Girl, you don't make any sense. don't talk like that. No one can understand you. You're not making any sense. And I said, I am making sense to me. You just don't understand me. So we always had these communication issues. And I would teach him how to father because I'm very fair. I want fairness. And I didn't think he was being fair. So we would fight. And I would lose. And my mouth got smacked more than once. That was back in the day when it was okay to hit your kid. Not okay, it's never okay, but it was normal. So eventually I stopped talking. I said, okay, this isn't working. My voice is not being heard here. And by the time I got into my teenage years, I was not a happy camper. I had no freedom. So when we're in a dark place, when we're not okay, when we hate the world, there's 3 things that I've figured out over time that's important to us. One is to continue to have fun anyway, right? Sometimes we think when we're suffering, we're not allowed to have fun. But I think it's important to have fun. So as a teenager, how did I have fun? Cigarettes and alcohol. Detroit, that's what we do. And I also served. I was a Sunday service for children, special needs children. And I dreamed. I dreamed my way out of that. I said, okay, what can I do with my life? I decided I would continue to serve children because it's not fair being a kid. You don't have a good voice. And then I wanted to model. I started modeling and I went to school and I educated myself. My father allowed me to go and I knocked it out. I really understood it and took it and professionalized myself and got a job and went to Los Angeles. I did so well there that they said, you know what, if you want, we can bring you to an agency. Sure enough, by the time I was 18, I moved from Detroit to LA. I went from the kayaking trip to the roller coaster ride. And there I lived a magnificent life. I had so much fun. I was professionally modeling with Elite. I moved into acting with Wilhelmina, and I did a dozen national TV commercials. I had a best friend there, and she and I rocked that world. We went dancing every night. We had boyfriends. We just had so much fun. And we never knew. Every day I woke up, I didn't know what was going to happen. And every day was an adventure. It was fantastic. I studied every spiritual thing I could get my hands on. I read books. I went to conferences. And I even attended Deepak Chopra before he was known. And my friend and I, we took copious notes and lived from that teaching. Because my father had not prepared me for the world, he found a relative over there in California. I ended up living with them to begin with. And he happened to be a metaphysical teacher. So out of all the teachings, his made the most sense. So I studied there for 4 years. Made a bunch of money, served kids. We had our own little Girl Scout troop. I served at Covenant House and just had so much fun. And then one guy that I was dating stood out way above everybody else. And we fell in love. He was amazing. And we dated for three months or so. And he said, I lost everything in my last business deal. And what I have left is an island in the Caribbean. And I'm looking for you. I'm asking you, would you come and build an empire there with me? And I said, that sounds like fun, because I'm okay jumping into adventures. So I thought I'll jump from that adventure to another adventure. And about a year and a half later, when I was the ripe age of 25, I was aging out of my modeling career. Acting wasn't really my jam. So we moved to the island. We got married. The wedding was a complete disaster. And I didn't know at the time, no one had told me this phrase, how the wedding goes is how the marriage will go. I wish someone had told me that. So my parents weren't really good on this guy. He was older than me. They didn't really appreciate that I was living outside of the country. But I just said, no, I believe in this. I believe in myself and I believe in his dream and I want to be a part of it. And I love creating. And I landed on my feet this time. I will again next time. Well, living on the island isn't all it's cracked up to be. Everybody says that because they think living on the island is that little rowboat, that little kayaking trip where everything's nice and easy. There's no stimuli, there's nothing to bother you. Well, that's not exactly how it goes. So after the fantasy of living, and I was never the person who said I want to live on an island. I like the woods. I like the mountains. So here I was living somebody else's dream in an environment that was very foreign to me. The very thing that I was paid for, the way I looked, was the thing that I got discriminated against here. The locals did not appreciate somebody coming in, a foreigner coming in and trying to take over. I wasn't taking over, but before me, people before me that looked like me did. So I couldn't make friends. People didn't want to talk to me. I was ignored. It was really weird. So I kind of gave up making friends. But it was rough. It was really rough. I was isolated. We not only lived on an island, we lived on an island off of an island. It was really a private island. He and I were the only people living there. We had 4 dogs, 2 cats. But it was work. It was a drought island. Antigua is a third world country. So there was poverty around us. And the main industry was tourism. So he found a job working at a boutique resort. We'd drive in every day. And I found a school and I volunteered there. And that was my saving grace because that was my community. When we're in a dark place like that, remember, have fun. So write that down, make a note of it, put it in the chat. When you're in a dark place, it's okay and it's necessary to still have fun. It is also necessary to keep moving forward. When we're struggling, we need to keep moving forward, no matter how bad it is. I kept up with who I was, my spiritual work, my understanding, but I was living in isolation. I did not have community. So that was really hard on me, not having community. Every business deal that my husband tried fell apart. And eventually, guess what? He fell apart too. He used to drink quite a bit when we were having parties and wining and dining in Los Angeles. And I told him, like, I can't deal with this drinking because I had already stopped drinking because it's a childish thing for me. It doesn't work. It doesn't pay off. So I had stopped drinking. I had stopped smoking cigarettes. And he said, look, on the island, I don't drink. It's okay. But I didn't understand addiction at the time. He went from drinking to running anger. So he got mad about everything. And I'm like, we're on an island. We're on a kayaking trip. What is there to get mad about? Every day is exactly the same. We live in Groundhog Day. Why do you get mad? And he couldn't help himself because it was a drip, right? Like a dopamine hit. Every time he would just get angry. He didn't get angry at me, thank goodness, but he was angry, so he was miserable. So he and I were disconnecting. Have you ever been more lonely in a relationship than you were when you were alone? That's really lonely. And that was a rough time. I shut down again. I stopped talking again. And then we had a hurricane. We don't know hurricane. He knows earthquake. I know snowstorm. We knew nothing about a hurricane. This hurricane came, Hurricane Lewis, and it was category 3 and 4, winds 150, 160 miles an hour. And we were sitting in the house. It was all boarded up. We didn't know what was going on. It was dark. There was tons of noise. Things were hitting the house. We didn't know. Hours passed. Hours and hours and hours passed. We were sitting there, sitting ducks, sitting in ignorance. It was crazy. And then everything stopped all of a sudden. The wind stopped, the noise stopped, everything stopped. The phone rang, the boat phone rang. And it was our boat mechanic. And he's like, y'all okay? And we're like, what's going on? He said, you're in the eye of the storm. Go outside, check the house. We're only halfway through. And this was at like 17 hours into sitting there. We went outside, we couldn't even recognize our backyard. The moon was shining in this hole. It was silent, it was completely silent. It was bizarre because there was nothing but noise and crashing, but it was silent. So it was almost going from the roller coaster to the kayak in a split second. Minutes passed, he checked the house, and he ran back into the house with a saw. I gathered the animals, we went back inside, and he was sawing the floorboards of our porch. I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "We have to go under the house. I did not build this structure. I don't know how it's built. The roof could blow off. We need to just go under the house." So he made a hole and we put all the animals down there. And the crawl space of the house was a belly crawl space. So I was dragging my body, elbow style, to the middle of the house. And we laid there. One dog between my legs, another one in my armpit, the cat around my neck. And we just laid there and laid there and laid there. A few more hours passed and he asked, "What are you doing?" I said, "Breathing." And he was like an A-type personality, so I couldn't even imagine what was going on in his head. But for me, I was completely calm because I'm good in crisis. I can take energy and intensity and I stay centered. I'm the kayak on the roller coaster. And it was that moment and then, because when you think you know yourself, but when you're really pushed, you find out who you really are. And I truly am a person who can handle crisis, who can handle things. I have a clear mind, I keep a clear head. And because I live on these other dimensions, I'm able to synthesize wisdom, understanding, references. And I said, okay, I'm in this situation, I'm in this marriage, I'm in this place that I have no management over, I'm in this isolation. How can I be? And I was just still. It was my temple in a way. Even though it was stressful and I wasn't happy, clinically depressed. I read an article once from Psychology Today, and it was everything it said. And it also said, under these circumstances, you should be on medication and good mental care. And I'm like, there's no medicine and there's no mental care. Thank God I have my spirituality. I stayed in that situation for 10 years. 9/11 hit, I woke up, and it was time for my next roller coaster ride. I didn't want to leave because I felt that a commitment I made, my vows, was to him, to myself, and to my creator, to my universe, to that which really truly governs me. But I broke all those vows and I jumped into the unknown again, onto the roller coaster. But I knew, okay, I must have fun. Keep moving. And learn as we grow. Learn as we grow. So type that in the chat. Have fun, keep moving, learn as we grow. So what did I learn? I learned how to inner resource when I was on that island because there was no other resources. No books, no classes, no courses, inner resources. I had fun with the kids and I would do landscaping. That was fun. And now I'm moving on to the next place, the next roller coaster. My sister had compassion for me. Her husband, who thinks I'm a complete weirdo, also said it's okay. And they said, come to Atlanta, you can stay with us until you get back on your feet. And my cat vomited on their white carpet every day because my cat was freaked out, because I was freaked out. I didn't know how to put sentences together anymore. I had lost a bunch of weight because of the stress of moving and changing my life and letting go. Jumping into the unknown, getting on that roller coaster. My hair was falling out by the handful. I was really not okay. And I had to find myself again. I had to recreate myself again. Remember who I truly was. So I worked really hard. I found Spiritual Living Center right here. And I started studying again. I volunteered, I showed up, and I showed up, and I showed up. I showed up to serve because that's the way I have fun. And I learned. I studied everything. And I remembered, like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It took me a while. And then I say, all right, game on. Come on, roller coaster. Come on, life. What can I do now? And then I started doing real estate. And I made it. I was on the board of Atlanta Realtors. I was rocking it. I had several businesses within real estate. I was making tons of money, and I was living life. I was using my spiritual laws and principles to work on my business, and I was doing good. When we're in the zone, when we're on the fun part of life, I have another saying. It's a prayer. Yes, thank you, more please. Yes, affirming, I like what I'm experiencing. Thank you. Gratitude always increases that which we're grateful for. Yes, thank you, more please. That's a treatment. That's scripting. That is saying, universe, I like this. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. You can take a good thing and make it really last if you have this kind of prayer. So write that in on your notes, write it in the chat. Yes, thank you, more please. When you're in the zone, stay in the zone. And have that roller coaster ride and really, really enjoy it. I worked hard. I worked very hard. So I kept studying and I kept having fun. I dropped into service again, found Covenant House, served at Spiritual Living Center, because those are the things that feed me. I like helping, I like serving, I like giving, I like sharing, just like I said at the beginning of this opening. I have a lot to share. I have a lot of wisdom, I have a lot of centeredness, I have a lot of understanding. And don't forget all these levels of consciousness, right? Then I said, okay, bought my house. I made my garden a paradise because I had studied all that landscaping on the island. And then I did it to my own house. And I thought all of that energy that I invested in that marriage, now I'm going to invest it in myself and in my community. And that's what I continue to do. I also wanted to move back to California. So I did. And I lived there for 15 months. But while I was there, what happened? Which roller coaster ride did I get to go on? It was the year of the fires. The whole state was on fire. I looked on a map, a government map, and the whole state was red. And it's like, these are the spots where there's fires. There was a mudslide 4 miles away from my house. I felt it because I'm empathic. I could feel everything about it. I could feel the suffering, the lost people, you know, the rescue workers digging in the mud, looking for people. It was horrific. But I stayed in my kayak in the middle of that roller coaster. I made a lot of great friends, and I lived that California life, and everything was great. My plan was to be bi-coastal, California and Atlanta. Then COVID hit. I love my life because I can do both. I can ride any roller coaster, and I'm still on the kayak. And I want to share that with you, that even though life and roller coasters happen and they come to us, it's okay. It's okay, because when we find our center, when we can be inner resourced, that's the ticket right there. So I can have fun whether I'm in the kayak, the 10 years of the kayak, paddling, Groundhog Day. Every single day was the same. What can I learn? How can I be? Do I still love myself, even though my ego says there's nothing here, you're not important, you're not valuable, your voice isn't heard? It's okay. Because we learn, no matter what's going on, it's okay. Because if I'm okay with myself and I love myself, it's okay. No matter what, it's okay. When our ego gets flaring and just obnoxious, right? It's so obnoxious. Then we can turn to our ego and say, you know what, come here. Come here, you and I gotta talk. And that's what I do. I did the subconscious work with my clients. I did subconscious work with myself. And everything can be calmed and eased. And if anyone's struggling, if anyone needs some of this, please reach out. I'm available through social media. I have all kinds of classes and courses and meditations. Come to me. I've got stuff for you. I've got something for you. Just reach out. And sometimes reaching out is hard to do. When I was on the island and 9/11 hit, I didn't know. And my sister said, come. And I reached my hand and she took it. And that's how it started. It just takes one person. One person can make a difference. I'm that one person for a lot of people. I'm inviting you to be that one person for a lot of people. A lot of people are going through some rough times right now. But be that one person. Be the kayak in the middle of the roller coaster. It's amazing that we can live this life. Everything can come at us like, what? I wasn't expecting a hurricane. What's all these fires? What's it? You know, starting a whole new career, like becoming a real estate agent. Like, what? You know what? It can be an adventure. Because if everything's okay, no matter what drama comes through our life, then it's an adventure. It doesn't have to always be a crisis. I helped my father die. For 3 months, I moved up there, up to Michigan, back to Michigan. My mom was freaking out, and my dad was dying, and he was, you know, the ruler of the roost, the king of the hill, and he had to surrender. And in his death, my centeredness, we were able to diminish all of the conflict that we had because now we were having a new relationship under new circumstances. So even though death is a roller coaster, if we stay on the kayak during it, we move through with grace. It was absolutely wonderful. So in conclusion, what is it for us to know? That if you are ever having a problem, you can move into the kayak of that problem. Who am I? What is my value? And love yourself as a spiritual being having a human experience. Always to learn when we're in a negative situation, when we're in crisis, when we're in things that we feel like are unmanageable, when we want to get off the roller coaster ride, but there's no way to get off of it, then we can say, okay, what am I learning? Let me have fun anyway. And to keep moving forward out of that way. We can move in a loop, but that's no good. That's a stuck place. That's a bad habit. We want to move forward. As we move forward, we can open up and be really excited. I want to end with a treatment. This is what I know for me and for you. We are the essence of life itself. We are here on purpose, regardless of what it looks like on the outside. That this life is meant to be lived, and when we find the purpose, we can live from that purpose. And that purpose, to me, is to share, so we can enjoy. Share our quality, share our love, to be okay with what is ever happening. Yes, thank you. More, please. To reach out when we're in a time of need. To be here together in community. To be grateful regardless of what's happening. To open and say yes. Yes to the roller coaster. Yes to the kayak. Yes to me. Love is always the answer. Letting this go into the consciousness in full faith. And so it is. Amen. Thank you.
Wow. I've always heard that the mark of a good talk is you find yourself in there. You find the point that was just, it seems like, written for me, spoken for me. And I'm sure that many of us found ourselves in that talk, Reverend Ursula. Thank you so much. I will long remember what you have said. In order to keep our center moving, to keep our message going out, it still requires money, as we know, to run any business, and the center is a business. So knowing that we are in a universe of abundance is something to remember, and I invite you to join with me in our affirmation of grateful giving. Here it is. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. 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 For all of creation, we see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone.